Hello, my goblins and ghouls. Thank you so much for clicking on an episode of Side Flick. My name is Chris. Let's talk about some movie news. Some of the stuff we're going to be discussing here today, guys, is we've got an update on the Halloween situation. Amazing how we keep getting updates on this. We got an intriguing rumor concerning Scream 7 I definitely wanted to dive into, as well as diving into a couple of updates with the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, because we've gotten a lot of little things showing up. Really, that alone with so much more, so you guys know the drill. Leave me your opinions down below with everything we discuss here today. Peep the Chica shirt. Saw it at Hot Topic the other day when I was shopping, and I was like, need it now. Give it to me. I punched a little kid for it. I was like, let go. Let go, kid. But let's go ahead and dive into our first topic here today, which is a trailer that released that I definitely wanted to discuss. So this weekend, when I went to go watch Saw X in theaters, a little trailer played in front. And usually I can spot what a trailer for a movie will be within the first 5 seconds, because I live online for movies, right? But this was a trailer that was not online yet. And I was like, what is this? And it was a movie called Silent Night starring Joel Kinnaman and is being directed by John Woo. Now, if you don't know the name John Woo, all you gotta know is the man has an eye for action. It's been a long time since he's made an action film, and he's coming out with this one, and this thing looks kind of awesome. Now, the premise looks a bit simple. It takes around the Christmas holiday. It looks like Joel Kinnaman is a father, and then he gets shot up one day, causing him to not only lose his son, but his voice. This puts him on a path to get revenge on the people that took his son's life, and the whole movie looks like it's not going to have any dialogue, and for a good reason. He gets shot in the neck where he can't speak. And I'm kind of a sucker for these kind of revenge movies. I don't know if you guys remember the movie Death Sentence. That was with Kevin Bacon. I think James Wan was the director of that one. I loved that movie as a kid. That has the same premise of a father who loses his son, then he just goes after everybody. So I'm definitely going to be looking forward to this thing. A definite treasure on my part. Check out the trailer for Silent Night if you haven't already. Jumping on from there, before we get to talking about some of the spooky stuff, James Gunn said a little something concerning the DCU I, again, just have to bring up, because I gotta keep wondering, James Gunn, ¿qué está pasando con la DCU? So anytime James Gunn is on social media and posts something, if you reply, there's a good chance he might respond to you. And well, a fan had asked them, since he confirmed John Cena's Peacemaker will be part of his DCU and that he's already writing season 2 right now, how's it gonna make sense if season 1 is set in the DCEU and you're saying that's no longer canon to your new universe? Where James Gunn did respond with saying, you'll see in the show, which isn't a lot of words and not even that big of a response, of course, but it lets us know he's gonna be addressing it. Season 2 of Peacemaker is gonna explain to us how we could have a scene like this, where John Cena is in front of the old DCEU, where they do cut away to Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller Flash, but in Season 2, it'll be addressed in a way where it'll make sense. Why are you doing this to the universe, James Gunn? What is going on here? I just have a gut feeling that they're gonna flash back to this scene, and instead it's just gonna be all the replaced actors of the new DCU, with, you know, David Cornsweet's Superman there instead of his shadow. Maybe one of these two actors could end up being the same person. It's just so odd that this is still the route they decided to go with. Like, whose decision was this? Did Warner Brothers force James Gunn to be like, look, you got to restart the universe, you got to keep some people, let some people go? Or it was like this James Gunn's choice, instead of hitting the full reboot button, he's like, we're doing a half boot. With James Gunn mentioning that season 2 of Peacemaker is going to address how it's not in continuity with its first season, does that get you interested, excited? What do you think about that? Moving on here to talk a little bit about Scream 7. Now, oh man, the wheels are turning on Scream 7 right now. Now that the writer's strike is over, it's pretty much a safe bet that the script for Scream 7 is heavily being worked on, if it's not already finished. But I assume there is going to be some work done on it. Now that we got confirmed the director Christopher Landon part of the movie, we had a photo floating around with him and his writer, Michael Kennedy, who he's done a movie with, Freaky, having dinner with Radio Silence, the director and creative team of Scream 5 and 6. So it looks like they're going to be hashing out this movie already at their dinner. Radio Silence is probably there mentioning what their plan was and their end goal for the franchise, tossing it off to them if they want to do the same thing or maybe mix some things around. And well, in the midst of all this going on, we had a rumor come about from Critical Overlord mentioning that Scream 7 will be taking place during the Christmas holiday. And man, that is something that I think Scream fans have been wanting. Also, Jason fans, but they got that in that fan film. There's some something about having your favorite slasher horror icon roam the streets with snow falling around, slicing blood everywhere. We still don't know if Scream 7 is going to be taking place in New York, but we can bet around Christmas New York is filled with snow, so that would be kind of cool. If you also think about it from a story standpoint, this would also be a good reason for all the characters to come together, because I still believe Scream 7 is going to take some sort of time jump. I don't think the core four are going to be as together as we think. They're probably going to be living their own separate lives, but if they're coming together for the Christmas holiday, that would be Ghostface's perfect chance to go after all of them. Still, we'll have to wait and see, because I remember when Scream 6 was coming out, we had the same theories and rumors going around that maybe it's going to take place during the snow and have a Christmas aesthetic. But instead, we got Halloween, which still was as awesome, although I feel Scream 6 could have done more to show off the Halloweenness of the city. So if this time we get the Christmas vibes, I hope they go all out. Lights, trees, Santa, everything. How are you guys feeling about Scream 7 possibly taking place during the Christmas holiday? Would that work for you? Moving on here to talk about the Halloween franchise, because this past weekend we had the convention Halloween 45, which is a convention solely dedicated to celebrating Michael Myers and the Halloween franchise. It's something I would eventually like to go to one day. I think it happens once every 5 years. And well, lately horror fans have been talking a lot about Halloween because there's rumors of an upcoming reboot. That's because we're getting reports that Malek Akkad, the rights owner, is talking to different studios about making a new movie or TV show. And well, at the convention that happened this past weekend, where Malek Akkad, the rights owner, was there, we got a tease of maybe when we can expect some of this news, and even if it's true at all. Let me play the video for you.
Where it goes, I can tell you one thing, it's going to stay at that elevated level. We're going to keep it quality. You don't please everyone, I know, all the time, but we got some really cool stuff coming that I know this base is gonna really love. So, time frame, you mentioned, well, there was all these rumors last week. I don't know where they started, but there's always a kernel of truth, I will say, and so we're working on it. We're working on a lot of things in the works right now. Just take a little while. So things will be dropping. I guess, like, watch this space. We got fun stuff coming. We might have a big one before Halloween, actually, the holidays, so yeah.
And that's gotta be exciting. So we're gonna get some sort of news on the Halloween franchise before Halloween this year. That really could be anything. It could be something smaller, it could be something huge. I do like the part where he mentioned there's a kernel of truth to the rumors he was hearing last week. That's the rumors that A24 might pick up a TV show for the Halloween franchise, maybe based on Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. But he also said it's something that these fans would really enjoy, because he was kind of joking around that how he knows not everybody loves everything that happens, and that most likely is a hint towards Halloween Ends, how not a lot of fans liked what happened there. But here he's looking to do something maybe that more Halloween fans will get a kick out of. Still, I wonder what that could be, because even at the same convention, there were mumblings that they're also working on a Halloween video game. I couldn't find the exact quote or hint to what he said, but he just suggested that video game potential for Halloween is there. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's talking about Michael Myers being a playable character on Mortal Kombat 1, since there was a rumor that maybe they would have a horror pack and Michael Myers could be one of them. But still, a movement is happening on the Halloween franchise. Something is a-brewing, and we might find out what it is before Halloween this year. Take your guesses to what you think it'll be. All right, moving on now to talk about some Five Nights at Freddy's. We've gotten some interesting updates the past couple of days. One that's gotten a lot of fans talking is this real-life Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria being built. There was a lot of videos floating around, mainly on TikTok, of people catching the construction going on, and this was already making people go, oh, they're gonna sell pizza, they're gonna have a little pizzeria in there, we're gonna have a Five Nights at Freddy's in real life. Heck, I was getting so excited, I was like, yo, I did a 24-hour trip where I visited the Scream Museum of all the props from the movie. If they're selling real pizza and it's a walkable Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria, I'd make another 24-hour trip for that. But sadly, the dreams were crushed pretty early when it was found out it's not really going to be a functioning restaurant or even a pop-up shop with like merchandise or even like the animatronics somewhere in there. It's just going to be something that's built for photo ops, where you're walking down the streets of Hollywood Boulevard and you can take a picture with it. And you know what? At night, it even looks pretty sweet. Seeing it light up like that would be enough for me to go take a photo, but but I'm not willing to make that 24-hour flight just for that. I can just Photoshop myself there. The other interesting bit of news that had a lot of people kind of debating online is the box office for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, because now that we are close enough to the film, we are starting to get numbers on how big or how small it's going to open. Now, this is something I was definitely interested to look in, how much money it was going to be making, because one, you would think Five Nights at Freddy's is like a giant franchise with how popular and the amount of views that type of content gets. But sometimes a giant fan base online can translate to a small fan base that's willing to go outside their house and pay for it. And here, thanks to the website Box Office Pro, they have an estimate that the movie will open between $33 million to $42 million, which I know that doesn't sound like a crazy amount, but you have to remember the movie was only made on a budget of $25 million. The part that was most surprising to me is that it looks like it could go its entire domestic theatrical run with just $90 million max. To kind of put it into perspective for you, Megan ended her domestic box office run with $95 million. Kind of surprising some people that this movie isn't making like Marvel money. Heck, take a look at this article where Jason Blum was being interviewed about his business practices, and this is what both the article and he had to say about Five Nights at Freddy's, saying the movie is expensive by Blumhouse standards, north of $20 million, a big chunk which went to Jim Henson's studio for the animatronics, but Blum is already out way ahead before the movie even opens. He declines to share precise figures, but he says the film has more than made its production costs just from the sale of its streaming and theatrical distribution rights. In other words, it almost doesn't matter how good the film is, it looks great. Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be a hit. The movie's gonna make a profit either way. It's gonna make its money back, and that means we're gonna get this full trilogy. In fact, for the people watching this right now, I'm wondering, where do you plan to see the movie? Are you gonna go to theaters for it? Or are you gonna watch it on Peacock? But this is where I toss it off to you guys. This is kind of the updates that we've gotten with Five Nights at Freddy's. Let me know what you guys think of all this. But that is all movie news we're currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.